Joining us now, Jerry Falwell Jr. He is the president and chief operating officer for Liberty University. Jerry Falwell Jr., great to have you on again.
John, I always enjoy doing your show.
So, Jerry, the New York Times, much to their chagrin, they went to Lynchburg. They sent all their reporters down. They expected to find sick people because you dared Jerry Falwell Jr. to not bend to the knee of the government officials who said all these things you had to do, and you left your dormitories open for those students that wanted to be there. And basically what you said is, many of them are going to be safer here in our dormitories if they choose to stay than actually at home where elderly grandparents could be, where they have to go back there. They might be safer here. And so what's been the outcome of that?
Well, the campus is built for 15,500 students. About 1,200 came back, and those were the students who, we had to go to all online because the governor issued an executive order that you can't have more than 100 people in a classroom. Then he lowered it to 10, and we got lots of classrooms with over 100, so we had no choice during spring break to convert to online, but we've been doing that since 1985, so we were uniquely equipped to provide quality online education. But the ones that had to come back were ones who did not have high-speed internet in their homes, mm-hmm. who had elderly relatives living at home, mm-hmm. who were international students, mm-hmm. who couldn't go back out of the country at that mm-hmm. point. Mm-hmm. So that 1,200 or so came back on a campus built for 15,500. You talk about social distancing. I mean, we thought about moving the shooting range down to the lawn because you could shoot and not hit anybody. But it was just common sense. All the food, all the restaurants were converted to takeout. Mm-hmm. All the academic buildings were open so they could distance even further, strictly enforced, and the end result was, even though there were a few cases in the city, none of those leaked to our campus, and so none of our faculty, staff, who had offices on campus, none of our students who were in the dorms were tested positive, and the semester's over now. They're gone home, and it's. I think we sort of created the model for how to do it right. We banned any outsiders from campus, put no trespassing signs at every entrance, but the New York Times trespassed. They in complete disregard for the public health of our students, they came on campus. We got warrants out for their arrest, and so it just shows what hypocrites they are when they're saying that we're causing a problem, and all we're doing is trying to protect our students from the virus, and yet they trespass from places that are hot spots. And so we'll see what happens in the courts, but we're also filing a civil suit, and it's gonna be fun to watch it unfold.
Jerry Falwell Jr. with us, President and CEO of Liberty University based in Lynchburg. Jerry, let me just ask you this. I mean, the New York Times sent these people down in order to find cases, in order to build a narrative. It's not like they went there because there were 30 people sick and 3 people were in ICU. They went there to create a story, create a narrative, which was false, that somehow you were causing sickness and death in Lynchburg. And, of course, many of the city leaders jumped on you when you made this decision. So that's why they went there. They didn't go there following a story, Jerry. They went there, the New York Times went there to create a story and forward a already pre-written narrative they had because, look, you're a Christian school. They don't like Liberty. They don't like Jerry Falwell Jr. They didn't like your father. They don't like anything about anything that has to do with any independent Christian school that's successful. So here was their opportunity. So 3 months later, there's nothing. Nobody's even sick. No one is tested positive. So meantime, in New York City, you got Andrew Cuomo saying, wow, I'm scratching my head. 70% of the people that go to the hospital for COVID-19, they're sheltering in place at home.
Yeah.
Why are the people that are going outside okay and the ones that are staying home sick? Like, why is that?
Well, the New York Times interviewed a doctor who we have all the correspondence. He gave it all to us, and that was in writing with the reporter. And he made it clear to them he had no official role at Liberty. He made it clear to them that his practice knew of 11 cases, I guess, of upper respiratory allergy type symptoms, which is not consistent with COVID. But yet they made it sound like there were 12 people with COVID at Liberty, and 750 newspapers picked up that story. And it went all over the country. The damage is done. We have no choice but to bring a lawsuit because it scared a whole community down here. It was completely irresponsible. It was I mean, frankly, it was just reprehensible. And so we're going to court. One of the counts in the lawsuit that's already drafted is civil trespass. So. And one of the reporters was from Richmond, so they don't have diversity of jurisdiction, which if you're a lawyer, that means you can't get into federal court, which is what the New York Times will want to do. But we got the best law firm in Manhattan, one of the best, and we're not going to stop until we get them to apologize and retract and on the front page, and so we'll just see what happens. But we got the money to fight them, and we got the will to fight them, and they picked the wrong conservative to pick on.
Well, Jerry, I tell you what, it's great to have you on. It's great to be with a fighter and fighting back because a lot of people just they cower with this stuff. But what the New York Times did is the opposite of responsible journalism. They went down there, they trespassed to concoct a story. What they printed was false. They should be held accountable. In fact, I just got a text here from Adrian in Richmond, Jerry, who says, "Hey, John, tell Jerry Falwell I delivered to the Dominion Nuclear Power Plant every day for my job. One of the questions they ask me in order to go in, get this, is one of the questions they ask. I can't even say it with a straight face. In order to go in, they ask me this question: have I had contact with anybody from New York City's 5 boroughs or New Jersey? And if I have, I can't go in. Meantime, the New York Times sends people from New York down to Liberty.
Oh, I know, yeah. and I got to add this. My 26-year-old son yesterday, he said, Dad, what if we had, in World War II, had chosen an 80-year-old egghead doctor like Anthony Fauci to advise us on whether defeating Nazi Germany would be good for the public health of our soldiers? I mean, that's how ridiculous.
It really is. When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, if Fauci was in charge, I'm sure he'd be saying, look, Japanese is an easy language to learn. It's a little cumbersome at first, but you're going to be healthier. And Japanese food is really good, and they have a really nice culture, and you can stay safe. And there's some things over there like the samurai swords and things you don't really. It's just too dangerous. And to go out and fight them. They got planes and they drop bombs and they got big aircraft carriers.
I really think the Mueller thing, the impeachment, they were all Hail Mary passes because the liberal Obama knows. I think I saw an email from you this morning to your list.
Yes.
I think Obama knows that John Durham is going to bring the hammer down, and I think they're trying their best to. And who knows if China did this intentionally? We probably will never know that or not, but I think at least they were negligent, and it's just you just seeing the reaction to Trump actually trying to change the status quo, and people are going crazy. It's fun to watch.
Let's get to Liberty University. You've been a trendsetter for opening your dorms up. You're on the John Fredericks Radio Network, Trucking the Truth. We're with Liberty University President, CEO Jerry Falwell. Talk about our sons. I said this last week, Jerry, but the biggest compliment you can get, I tell you, is my 15-year-old, who's a very good baseball player, is on a national travel team. He's a freshman in high school. He wants to go D1 Power 5. That's his thing. But he heard you on my show because my wife has it on in their home now. And it was a couple of weeks ago. I just want to tell this story again. He sent me an email and he said, I want to put Liberty University on my list and put him at the top. And I'm like, well, why? What about all these other schools you want? And he said, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of something that's special.
Oh, that was very heartwarming when you told me that the first time. And our coach has really enjoyed talking to your son, and I really hope that works out because he's the kind of student we're searching for, and we appreciate what you do every day on the radio.
Well, I tell you what, if you can evoke that level of emotion out of a 15-year-old that wants to be part of something like that, like what you do, you guys are on to something. Let's get to where we're going in the fall. Is the university going to be open? Are we going to have Liberty football? Are we going to have fall athletics? What's going to happen, Jerry Falwell Jr.?
Our plan is to open business as usual. And if the governor tries to stop us, we get the same law firm ready to go after him. But it's just, I think the only way to end this is to just go back to normal, protect the people that are at risk the best you can, and then just open their economy back up, and that includes universities. And there's most universities have already announced that they're reopening because, unlike Liberty, they can't survive without their resident student tuition. We're unique because we have a huge 100,000 online students across the country, so we have a little more flexibility. But the schools are going to open, and they're probably going to do it in some ridiculous way where everybody's 10 feet apart or whatever. But we plan to do it like we did it this spring, and we think we can do it and keep everybody safe, keep anybody from the local community off the campus unless they have official business. And I think that's the key to keeping it safe.
Are we going to have a college football season?
Yes. I think the NCAA would be making a huge mistake if they cancel the football season. Purdue University announced a couple weeks ago that the risk of this virus to college-age young people is almost zero as far as fatalities, and I think they were right. And so that's the reason we're opening up. And it's every young person I've talked to who had COVID, they hardly knew they had it. They felt a little achy one day. It's just different with young people, and so for that reason we're opening. And if the governor tries to stop us, he's going to have a battle on his hands.
So it sounds like you think the NCAA is going to go forward. Football practice for NCAA starts and when? It starts like third week in July, if memory serves me, something like that?
I think they'd be making a big mistake if they didn't, because the science is there. This is not dangerous for young people.
All right, I got a text here from Charles in Mechanicsville, a listener. He says, hey, please tell Jerry Falwell Jr. my son is going to Liberty University online. He wants to be a pastor. Thank Dr. Falwell for us, Charles in Mechanicsville. So we've got one of the students there starting to be a pastor. I got about 10 texts. I only picked out one. So those of the others that have sent me, I'm not shunning you. I just can't read all of them. You think the NCAA is going to go forward? You think there's going to be college football? Governor Northam yesterday, I guess we're in phase one. He's got a million rules. My wife read his rule book to me, and you got to read it out loud to really get a grasp of. I mean, how do these governors get this power? Like, he's dictating you can open up your barbershop, but you can't have people waiting. You can only take appointments. They have to be in the appointment book. If a compliance agent comes in, their name has to be in the book. They can't be sitting there.
I think they're violating the U.S. Constitution. I think the right to assembly, the rights that are in the Bill of Rights, these governors are violating those, and I don't think there's nothing in the Constitution that says, oh, these Bill of Rights don't apply if there's some flu going around. I mean, it's just that, to me, it's that simple. And they, I think if the courts could move fast enough, we could stop it, but they can't. It takes a year or two to get something like that declared unconstitutional. But it's, I think that has to happen. I think cases have to be brought so that they don't abuse their power in the future like they have with this pandemic. And, you know, we can take reasonable steps to protect people, but, you know, the steps they've taken are, they're not designed to protect the people at risk. They're designed to control people's lives and to shut the economy down, because they're hoping that'll hurt Donald Trump in the fall if the economy's down. My opinion.
It's all politics now. Jerry Falwell Jr., the vaccine is Joe Biden. He becomes president. They'll be in all clear. The ultimate goal here is mail-in ballots where they can steal the election. I mean, come on. I mean, look, I was in Bristol, Tennessee the other day. I'm in Bristol. I can have dinner, have a beer, the whole thing, right? Just sit at the bar. I go 2 steps over the line, over the street to Virginia, and I can't do anything. I guess COVID-19 doesn't go to Tennessee. The whole thing is asinine. Brother Leon Benjamin, who says pastors must take the lead in reopening. Brother Benjamin, you're on with Dr. Falwell. I got 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Hey, God bless you, John. I believe, man, awesome show today. We are in the precipice right now. This is the pinnacle of what God said to his leaders: go into all the world. We can't go in if we're locked up and shut down. And we're starting to feel the pangs of not trusting and believing that we have more authority over Wuhan virus than Wuhan virus has over us. Great is he that is in us than he that is in the world. It's enough is enough, and we need to lead this. God bless Dr. Falwell. He is doing the right thing. I am in total just agreement with what God has led him to do to keep his people safe, and it's just amazing. We are in the precipice. Now is the time. Pentecost Sunday is coming up, May 31st. I believe a dimensional power is going to come over this nation, led by pastors from the north, south, east, and west, to say enough is enough. We must reopen America, not just economy-wise, business, but also for the fellowship of the people. The people are the energy of this nation. You shut the people down, you shut down the energy, the patriotism, you shut that all down. Right. You take away the efficacy of what America is all about.